Violence against women and girls has long been a point of great concern for the United Nations. The international campaign originated from the first Women's Global Leadership Institute, coordinated by the Center for Women's Global Leadership in 1991. Since then, the UN has been drawing attention to this troubling and growing problem. The internationally recognized Day of the Elimination of Violence Against Women and Girls is November 25th. This day is the start of 16 days of activism, which ends on December 10th, the international date recognized as Human Rights Day. For 2018, the theme for celebrations is Orange the World, #HearMeToo. In explaining this year's theme, the UN says that for far too long, impunity, silence, stigma, and shame have led to an entrenched endemic of violence against women and girls around the world. However, in recent years, the drive for change has garnered more visibility due largely to the determination and bravery of grassroots activists and survivor advocates who understand that while the names and the contexts may differ across geographic locations, economic and social contexts, one common theme runs deep. Women and girls are experiencing extensive abuse and violence, and their stories need to be brought to light. Since turning the spotlight on this troubling issue in 1991, UN Women has worked with governments and women's advocates for the adoption, strengthening, and implementation of national laws, policies, and strategies. For example, after the government of Cape Verde passed new law against gender-based violence in 2011, UN Women helped train judges, attorneys, and police on implementation. Now in the Capital District, one judge and 2 prosecutors work specifically on gender-based violence cases. Court sentencing overall has fallen from as much as 5 years to 2 months. In Central America, UN Women-supported advocacy helped encourage both El Salvador and Mexico to enact legal reforms that define femicide as a criminal offense, as well as measures to prevent and punish it. Femicide is the killing of a woman or girl, in particular by a man and on account of her gender. Guatemala, with legislation already in place, drew on UN Women's expertise to train nearly 550 prosecutors on taking cases to trial. UN Women also supported women parliamentarians and political leaders in Pakistan, as well as non-governmental advocates in backing passage of sweeping new legislation to prevent the use of acid in attacks on women and to stop harmful customary practices. The Criminal Law Act 2011 for the first time levies prison sentences and fines for acid attacks, which were not recognized as a crime until recently. The Prevention of Anti-Women Practices Act penalizes cultural traditions once viewed as acceptable, including forced marriages. The Palestinian cabinet recently adopted the Arab region's first national strategy to combat violence against women, which unifies existing efforts to end violence against women, covering improved policing, the application of forensic science to violence cases, extended social services, and better training of social workers. At the Caribbean regional level, UN Women is working with the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights towards the adoption of a regional model protocol for the investigation of femicide in the Caribbean. In Trinidad and Tobago, the Miscellaneous Provisions Marriage Act was passed in an effort to protect girls and boys from child marriages. Among other things, the law now raises the legal age of marriage to 18 years, repeals any parental consent for a marriage, and creates an offense where it is illegal to solemnize a marriage of a person who is under the age of 18 years. The Miscellaneous Provisions Marriage Act was proclaimed on 2nd October 2017. Orange Day calls upon civil society, governments, and UN partners to mobilize people and highlight issues relevant to preventing and ending violence against women and girls.